Coming up here, Circle Debate Podcast, episode 57. As you can see right behind me is the darkest day in the hour. And yes, dark day. Another black day here on the Black Wednesday, unfortunately. As you can see, that locker room is empty.
You know that song by Soundgarden? Fell on black days. Dun, 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 dun. You know that one.
Yeah. And also, as you heard the League of Extraordinary Podcast giving their thoughts of Double or Nothing, now we got to hear our other hosts, of course, Money Mike and MGC's thoughts and their recap of Double or Nothing. Pro wrestling news and much more to come, especially for New Japan coming up as well. We'll be covering for New Japan and for NWA as well. Much more. So as episode 57 begins now. Welcome, everyone, to the Circle Debate Podcast, episode 57. Wow, 57 down the road, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost to the 60s, almost there, almost. And we got a lot more, way more to go. And that's right, the host of TV, one I've been seeing here alongside with my family, the D-Generation West. Well, we're missing our other fourth member of the Horsemen of the Evolution, you could say, the D-Generation West, but he's directing traffic. He's directing somewhere around. He's somewhere directing the one and only Chris Kennedy, but he'll be back for us next time. But yes, and also we have the calluses of all calluses, as he's drinking this damn tea. Which, what the fuck are you drinking tea? He's supposed to be drinking coffee. He's supposed to be drinking a michelada. Yes, he's supposed to be drinking a michelada. Something.
Was it, Ivan? What are rucas? That's like a
rucas. That's like older women.
No, I thought it was like a kind of drink too, though. I thought.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think you can drink that. You can try, but I don't think it's gonna go so well.
Well, I brought a joke to make up Chris missing, and I also brought this character too. So I'm pretty sure Rucus is maybe it's some side of beer inside of because I saw, maybe isn't it that margarita with the beer inside of it, or am I thinking something else?
I don't, you know what, it's a good question. I don't know if it's called Ruka, but it'll be, if it is, I'm surprised. I've never done it, never heard of it. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the calluses of calluses. He is Mr. MGC, Matt Callis Steamboat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I brought both the regular MGC and, Matt Callis, next level consciousness.
That's cool. Right. And that next level consciousness is the manager of this other individual I need to introduce, because he needs an introduction, ladies and gentlemen.
Are all insects in the shadow of the god of podcasting.
That is right. He is the shadow of the god of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, because he is a multi-time recording artist, a graduate from Casa Dominguez Hills. He's also a 2018, 19, and 20 World Karaoke Champion. And
working on 21.
And working on 21. That is right. After June 15 here in California, once he reopens, he will be going back to defend his title at Cafe Brass Monkey Karaoke Bar. So don't forget to tune in for all your Southern California around that area. You'll see myself, and you'll see, of course, this man who lives 1,977,000 miles from Winnipeg, Minnesota, Canada. Because he is the master disaster, the king of sting, the man with the plan, Money Mike Lopez.
I'm going to pour one out for my boy, Braun Strowman. I made this one. Get these hands, Braun, for life. Yes. This was for you, Braun.
I love it.
Take that to an AEW pay-per-view.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, what a dark day here in Southern California. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and get into with the recap of AEW Double or Nothing. So we got to go ahead. Before we do, I also want to go ahead and thank our brothers from Another Mothers, the League of Extraordinary Podcast, George Mackay. Well, congratulations again for your 200 episodes that just came out yesterday. Congratulations. And also to Devin, the tribal chief of podcasting, because he is a tribal chief. Acknowledge him. And with Clark Street Wrestling Podcast, of course, the Kings of New York. You can't go wrong with them. That is Dirty Heels Podcast, Kofi Winston, and the DOE Good Brother Bo. And of course, here we go. That is Jofo in the Ring Podcast. Of course, he's not the prediction, he's the spoiler. Kyle Morin with, of course, Frank Jofo, and the Harbinger of Truth, Jeremy Prophet. So yes, thank them very much for this past week giving their recap. Now we've got to hear the god of podcasting. We got to hear Money Mike Lopez, which, by the way, if you go to his personal YouTube channel, he watched AEW Double or Nothing on the cinema. So by all means, the floor is yours, Money Mike.
Yes, of course. I went to go see Double or Nothing on the big screen. I've never seen a wrestling event in the movie theater, and there was just nothing like it. You know, just the speakers, the sound, the giant screen in front of me, the slams that you could hear more, and all that. You know, you could feel every slam. You know. Yes, every holy shit, every this is awesome, fight forever, you know, you fucked up, all the chants you could hear. Whoa. Which, you know, okay, I'll say this. For whatever reason, or maybe I'm in the wrong forums here, but something feels that Double or Nothing was an underrated show. In what way? In what way? I really feel that this is probably the best pay-per-view that I've seen overall, start to finish. Overall, in probably I don't know how many years I have not seen a pay-per-view this good. And man, I was entertained. Maybe it was the theater, I don't know, but I was thoroughly entertained by every match. Yes, even the Cody match, I was entertained. Yes, absolutely, great, start to finish.
All right. Matt Callis.
My God. So just before I start on my review, I'd like to follow up with what I was saying earlier about Ruckus. Apparently Ruckus I was reading my friend's comment. He's drinking boonies or boons? Boons?
Boonies.
Yeah,
Booty.
boonies. That's what it was, boonies. I meant to say.
Anybody in the comments that knows what that is, feel free to enlighten me, please.
Yes.
Do your research on the boonies, because you know
that kind of reminds me of a wine drink, but one of those like cheap ass liquor store boonies, like kind of like those MD 2020s. Like it kind of reminds me of that Mad Dogs.
Oh, okay.
So,
that takes me back to high school.
Yes.
Which I did not drink in high school, by the way.
If AEW is as cool as I think they are, they'll let me drink a boonies in the front row. So I know Orange Cassidy would be down. I'd be down to drink a boonies with Orange Cassidy. So to kind of review the whole thing, I'm not going to go like match to match, beginning to end, but I'll talk about like the two main events in particular. The triple threat main event had plenty of drama behind it. I loved it. You know, I just kind of wish there was a little bit more, you know, offense and maybe some more fighting on the outside. It'd be cool if they kind of like fought like in the crowd and stuff like that during the match, all three of them. That's just one, you know, thing I think we could have improved upon. But overall rating, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5. You know, it's a good pay-per-view. It's a pretty stacked Oh, the Sting match. Ooh.
Sting! I know you were happy. You were like, Ned Flanders. I'm pretty sure you were.
Especially during the Scorpion Deathlock. That's like, I never thought I'd get to see that again. But like, everybody should notice this isn't just Sting getting in the ring one time. This means I could get one of my dream matches sooner or later. Sting versus Kenny Omega. That's what I've been waiting for. That's kind of like, you know, I when I started watching wrestling again, I had like an 8% chance that I would get to see my dream match again, you know. And now not only is it possible, I think it's inevitable at this point.
I like that.
I think, especially like Kenny's not going to turn down the opportunity, and neither is Don Callis. I don't think I'm going to turn down the opportunity to let the god of professional wrestling face the greatest lone wolf to face a faction ever. But let's see how he does against the real Bullet Club, against the real elite.
Money Mike, do you agree with Matt's grading?
You know what? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess I made it sound like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But you know, yeah, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and as for a Sting versus Kenny Omega match, I actually think we're gonna get Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks before that. So you heard it here first, folks. I feel that that's the direction that they're going in.
And the Young Bucks will learn that the proper Sasori Gatame done by the OG. Well, other than Ricky Choshu, the other OG of the move, you know. But overall, I mean, it was a really stacked card. You know, the people were kind of dissing the Cody match. I could see a little bit of the corniness, but at the same time, I think Anthony Ogogo missed out on his chance to really clown on Cody, or Cody to take hit like reverse clowning to the next level. Maybe Anthony Ogogo could have been like, "Hey Cody, so you think you're Captain America?" And then Cody shows up as Captain America or something really ridiculous. "Oh Cody, you think you're the greatest American ever?" And then Cody shows up dressed as George Washington. Like, I think we missed out on that fun an interesting goofy exchange that we could have seen. You know.
I mean, I'll say this about that. I'm kind of glad that did not happen. You know, yes, was it a little cheesy? Of course, but we all like our cheese on our pizza, you know, with moderation, right? I'll say that there's definitely an audience out there for Cody. Cody got a good reception, you know, start and finish, you know, so there's clearly a group of people out there for Cody that are fans, myself included. You know, the guy can wrestle. The guy, I feel, is a good ambassador for pro wrestling. So, yeah, I mean, I got nothing against the guy. And a little cheese, sure, why not?
I was just saying you should embrace the cheesiness. Why, you know, if you got the chance, you know, not be afraid to kind of go all in.
My God, too late for that. Jesus, really? I'm an ambassador for pro wrestling, Money Mike?
Sure, yeah, why not?
It really kind of is, because he shows up on the TV shows
whenever the fuck he wants. He doesn't show up like every other week, every week.
Like, what was it? Go Big show or whatever.
There's something for everybody is what I'm trying to say.
Understand?
You know, yeah. If Cody is your cup of tea, then we have Cody there for you, right? You know,
guys, I think I got a question for everybody. Is let's talk about the most, like, maybe the one that most people skipped or didn't really talk about: Serena Deeb versus Riho. Did either of you guys catch it?
Of course.
Yes, fantastic match. Great opening. I loved it, top to bottom. The crowd was really into it. And just hearing the crowd was just like, I loved it. And I said it on the other, the recap that I have with the rest of the podcasters, that I love Serena Deeb's heelness. It's glorious to me. I love to see her in that heel side of things. And I think we do need a technical heel like her in AEW. and NWA. So I think I cannot wait for
We're
her
gonna talk
to
her on once we talk about the upcoming NWA pay-per-view.
Mhm.
But I'll say that I'll say this is that we were this close to seeing that NWA title defended in 4 different promotions, possibly even 5. I don't know. NWA maybe maybe 5. Yeah, screw it.
Well, what about your guys' thoughts about that Joker card, Leo Rush's debut? So I'll go with you, Money Mike. What are your thoughts about that?
I thought it was the best choice. Reason being, people for whatever reason are getting used to or conditioned to thinking that the Joker card is going to be someone big. Oh, it could be Brock, it could be Daniel Bryan, it could be this or that. But I feel having someone like Leo Rush up here, it lets people know that, you know what, it's not just WWE guys that are going to be Jokers. You could be someone from New Japan, MLW. It could be someone from anywhere, right? So definitely. And for what little time he was in the ring, because he wasn't there for a long time, for what little time he got to showcase or give a taste of what he can do. And ultimately, I feel that he fulfilled what was needed of him, right? So I'm totally cool with it.
Okay. Do you feel the same, Matt Callis?
Overall, yeah, Leo Rush is I'd say he's like the cruiserweight belt collector in this instant, or the light heavyweight belt collector, because he took that AAA belt from Laredo Kid, and who knows, we'll see some more. Maybe Laredo Kid wants to get even. We got some more storylines that can continue.
Well, I don't know if you know, my apologies to interrupt you, but I don't know if you know that technically that belt was never official change.
Really?
Yeah, if you go back to the MLW, Laredo Kid is carrying the belt before the season was over because it was a botch. He wasn't supposed to win the belt. So Laredo Kid was supposed to win, but they went along with the botch and him winning the middleweight, the cruiserweight title for AAA. But now Laredo Kid has the belt.
Interesting storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And also wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Now we finally said it happened, but I just want to hear you guys' thoughts about what George McKay said about DMD becoming the women's champion. So I'll ask a question with a follow-up. So I'll go with you, Matt Callis. Are you happy that she won the championship belt? And how George McKay said on the league, he said that in order for her to solidify her career, she needs to keep that belt for the rest of the year, over beating Hikaru Shiro's 1-year reign as women's champion. Do you agree with that? That's the follow-up question. Take it away.
Serena, do I think
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker.
Yeah. I think it seemed the perfect time for her, pretty much. Like Britt's more than earned it. I know Hikaru wanted to defend it more times in front of crowds, but she had a pretty long run. It would be kind of, they don't want to get it stale. She has some. The cool thing is Hikaru got to even show some of her promo skills. She was kind of like a clean baby face. She doesn't have too much humor and wit yet. She's still developing that. I kind of like this is your belt, and that's very. It's almost like a cleaner Jon Moxley kind of babyface promo she was cutting. But overall, I think, I'm gonna keep segueing into what we're gonna talk about later on. Overall, I wanted. I think the good thing about Hikaru Shida being there is that she's kind of, not only is Tony Khan the Forbidden Door, not only is Don Callis the Forbidden Door, but I'll say Hikaru Shida's in her own way is a forbidden door of her own, because she brings all her Joshi friends, your Maki Itos and your Ryo Mizunamis and all these amazing talents. And there's a wrestler that right now who I most wanted to bring, and we're gonna talk about her. I can't pull up a picture of her because I'm not on my I'm not on my PC. I'm on my iPad. Saki Akai, and she actually made her debut at the exact same time as Hikaru Shida. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Maybe because she's not always the tag team partner, wasn't always the tag team partner of Hikaru Shida in her early days. Saki Akai, she's the current tag team champion of Tokyo Joshi Pro, and she's tall, skinny, long leg. When her and Hikaru Shida debuted together, they both had like 80s metal hair. But yeah, so Saki Akai, she's kind of like the Ultimate Warrior or the Sting to Karashida's Ultimate Warrior Sting. How they debuted together as a tag team,
Do you feel like Britt Baker should hold to that belt as long as Hikaru did?
Not as long, probably, but she'll have like at least three really high profile defenses against pretty high profile opponents, and I'm hoping one of them Saki Akai, aka Tama. But they're called Neo Gun. It means like Beauty Awareness Society, or no, Beauty Awareness Army is what it means in Japanese. And they dress like 1800s France, and she wears like a big witch's hat, and she smells roses, and she sits on people and stands on people, kind of like Naito, but in like a queen-like way. So she would be an interesting villain to go up against Britt Baker if she switches babyface.
Okay, so. I see. Money Mike, thoughts?
So it was the perfect time. There was no better time than Double or Nothing for her to win the title. I always say that, or I always believe that, and I for whatever reason, I'm going back to Cody, that I am pretty sure Cody's going to win the AEW championship at some point. It's going to happen, but I feel that he's waiting, or the company's waiting, until the audience, the fans, start kind of asking for it organically. Then they're actually going to be like, you know what? The people want it. Let's make it happen. And I feel that's kind of what happened here. People wanted Britt Baker to win, but it just became inevitable. Double or Nothing was it. It was just right time. Perfect. As for her title reign, you know what? I think it should not be as long as it should not be as long, for sure, because the aim should not be title length. It should be good storytelling and good title defenses, good rivalries. If they want to bust the CM Punk and turn her face midway in her title reign so she could have like a 400-day reign, that's fine, right? But as long as the stories and the rivalries are fresh and it doesn't become redundant, because then we're gonna want her to lose that belt,
Yeah.
So it's only gonna hurt her if she keeps it for forever. So,
I understood. I like that. I like that. Great point. Great point. You watching this, George? Talk to Mike. And now my other question now to you guys is, with who's next for Kenny? We saw that, but what is next? What's next at the aftermath of this? Who should be the next contender for the AEW World Heavyweight title? So I'll take it back to you, Money Mike. Who should be the number one contender? Who should be next?
Number one ranked person, right? Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is next. In 2 weeks or a week and a half, whatever it is.
Yeah, a week and a half, yeah.
Sure. It's going to be Jungle Boy, and we'll see what happens, right? Odds are that he's going to still remain champion. But after that, I'm thinking, man, there's that's what I love about AEW. There's no immediate rematches here. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre are having another match. Jeez Louise, in Hell in a Cell. So I'm glad AEW doesn't do that sort of thing. And we're here wondering who's next. And the great thing is, it could be pretty much anybody. So I love it. I love it. You know, it's great.
There you go. Mike Ellis, who do you think your client should go after Jungle Boy?
Let me think. Should I do this as Matt Callis or as me?
Please.
Well, we know that Kenny's one of the best in the world and nearly undefeated, so he might as well just face Air at this point. Nothing could face him at all. I disagree with that, Matt Callis. So it's turning into another person, guys. No,
It's like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's like every time you put on these glasses, you have the urge to smoke a dart and eat Canadian bacon. Like, no, make it stop. Go away. No, so in AEW, I wouldn't say AEW is as predictable as WWE at this point because they have a different way of doing booking. I have a feeling if they want to be surprising, if they're going for surprises, maybe, just maybe, because Chris Jericho's been pulling for him. Everybody's been showing him love. Maybe he takes the title.
Who, Jericho?
No, Jungle Boy.
What? Wait a minute.
I love Jungle Boy as much as the next person, but I really don't think that's gonna happen.
AEW is not as predictable as WWE, so I'm just saying they could surprise us. Something can happen. Who knows? Maybe Jurassic Express and then some other baby faces jump in. Here's the craziest scenario I could throw out. So basically, they're doing the match. Good brothers step in to interfere, of course. And of course, the invisible hand, Don Callis, steps in. And then Young Bucks step in to interfere, right? It's basic. And then, Michael Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler, like the extended army. But what if, other than Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt only getting his back, some more baby faces, who knows, even the Inner Circle, that would be kind of interesting, and that could open up the whole Kenny rivalry kind of relationship, the whole Winnipeg storyline. Like, Jericho, how could you betray us this night? Oh wait, sorry, I didn't. Jericho, how could you do this? Betray your fellow Winnipeggers? How could you do that? You truly betrayed us. Going against the mind, you've become an insect. You've become an ant. It might end up like that. So I mean, that would be what I would do if I really want to. You could put Kenny in a high profile rivalry right away and elevate Jungle Boy at the same time, and finally have like Kenny Jericho 3. Except this time, Kenny's a heel and Jericho's a babyface. Because Jericho's he's talked very positively about Jungle Boy, like in podcasts and stuff like that. Because Jericho talks about how much his daughters love Jungle Boy, and like he's kind of like a heartthrob to them or a teen idol or something like. I think one of his daughters has a crush on him or something. I don't know. It's something like that. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we might see one of Jericho's daughters getting screen time, and then they make a little, some side story with that. And it's like, I'm a young champion, and I'll prove it to you, Jericho. I could be a good boyfriend to your daughter. It's like, well, you better not. You better treat her right, or I'm whooping your ass, or something like that. They might. That would be. There's a lot you could do here. Anything could happen.
Yeah. But what about this now? I wanted to ask you guys this one as well. I was curious, which I forgot to mention the other one. On the AEW Tag Team Championship, we did see a lot of trolling of WWE troll from the Young Bucks. They did the Hogan, they did the Savage, they did the woo. And I'm like, then of course the Fist. But I said it overall on another one. It was a fantastic classic match. We finally got to see Young Bucks wrestled, actual wrestling, no much aerobatics, not much. There wasn't really much, but we actually saw a wrestling match. out of them versus two high quality wrestlers, brawlers. And so now what's going to be next? So who should be the next contenders as well? So it's like these doors are shutting, and now there's new one open. So that's why I asked, what is next? So Money Mike, I'll go to you. What is next?
Man, Young Bucks are the best tag team in the world. It's a fact of life at this point. I mean, these guys are entertaining no matter with what tag team you put them in there with. They could wrestle the Olsen twins and still make it an entertaining match. Absolutely. And they got their shoes back. They got the Jordan Dior's.
The Dior's.
Yes. So, they got those back. And, I enjoyed the heck out of that match, man. It was a fun ride. That's what I called it. It was a fun ride. Great storytelling from start to finish. And it almost felt like I was so surprised, that they pinned Moxley. If had this been WWE, they would have pinned Kingston. Odds are. They actually went ahead and pinned Moxley. It was great. I was not expecting that. So I don't know if anybody else was, but it was great. It was fun.
All right. Matt Callis.
I actually have a question directly for Mike. Mike, let me ask. Are the sneakerheads hollering?
Say it.
Do the sneakerheads be hollering when they see them Dior's?
You know what? Hopefully they are able to restore those, because those took a heck of a beating.
I know them sneakerheads be blowing up my phone and they be hollering. Sneakerheads be
Scott, Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
They be hollering. They be hollering.
Be
They're hollering at Young Bucks. I'm going to talk about this once again. I keep segueing into the later segments. I want to see the War Kings face the Young Bucks in some shape or form sooner or later. Like these are the two matches I'm still like praying for every night, wishing for on a falling star, wishing on Jimmy Cricket, wishing on Leprechaun for it. Wishing on I'm licking rocks underneath the freeway or whatever.
Whoa! I was gonna say I think you're gonna be out there cooking a steak out of the freeway with slapjack. I think out there really
No, but I'm wishing for the Young Bucks to face the War Kings, who we're going to talk about later on, and they're competing for the NWA title, and then FTR to face the Briscoe brothers. Those are the two teams I still want to, because those teams could still appear in AEW's tag team division and not have to be full time. Like Leo Rush currently, who we just talked about, he's just on a handshake deal. So that's, once again, AEW, anything could happen. So many people, they don't have to be there in a full contract. It's like when you join WWE, you have to change it's like entering a new it's like becoming a Japanese citizen. Like you have to change your first and last name, and then you have to give up your previous citizenship, and then you can't talk to certain people.
That's like a thing in Japan. So yeah, if I went to become a Japanese citizen, I can no longer be Mike Lopez.
Well, I think you have to take a different, like legally, you have to take a different. You have to have a Japanese name on your ID card, first and last name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
circle of debate becoming educational here.
It's always been. Always been. Matt Callis always educates everyone here at Circle Debate, to our debaters, to our debater fans.
Of course, I'm a PhD in professional wrestling. Of course, I've been a PhD this entire. Go away! Stop taking over my brain. Yeah, so like when you go to WWE, you gotta change your name, and then you can't say certain words and all that. It's nuts. So AEW, it's a little bit more free form. It's more like the airport because they got. Now it's more like the airport of wrestling because all these different people could come and go. So Briscoes, War Kings, please. If you're watching this, please come.
Okay. And the last one that I wanted to actually mention now is the opening match of the card. Actually, Adam Hangman Page and Brian Cage. Excellent match, obviously. Now I want to get your thoughts of what's next for both of them. So now I'll go to you, Money Mike. What do you thought of your match? Recap that match and the aftermath for both of them. What should happen next?
Man, what a pop for Hangman, I must say. And you can tell that the crowd was super behind him. Brian Cage, I feel his road is to a face turn. It's pretty obvious at this point that he's headed to leaving Team Taz. Hangman Page, I will go ahead and say it. He is headed towards the title picture. You want to know who's next for Kenny Omega? It might be Hangman.
Okay. All right. MGC.
I'm gonna have to agree that everything Mike said. It's very apparent that he's gonna that Hangman's looking at the title because TNT, I mean, could work on Hangman, but at the same time, well, Hangman versus Miro would be kind of interesting, but he's got to go for Kenny sooner than later, with just the way everything's laid out for him and their whole history, So it might be a lot sooner or later, but Kenny's still got all the other belts. Still, it's like you cut off one head, he still has so many others.
Yeah. I could agree. Because we have seen prior before, like Easter eggs, like Marvez asking a Hangman about Kenny, and he like ignores the questions, and it's like kind of like all right, this like a hit is gonna come to that point. How you both guys said that eventually Dark Orders or something is you look at the rankings, you're like right next to Kenny Omega, you're number 2 in the rankings. You got to go for the belt. So that might happen. That it might down maybe by Full Gear, maybe, or maybe down the maybe after Full Gear. We're not quite sure. For Brian Cage, I feel he'll finish that storyline with Team Taz, and I don't mind seeing him and Miro. That'll be something else too. But I'm hoping it'll be to not be a disappointing match how it was with
very
Murder House. But I did kind of enjoyed it, but people didn't. I kind of did, but oh well.
Who didn't enjoy that? That was an entertaining match. I enjoyed it. Tell me who. I'll cut them.
I think the league.
Oh, really? Oh, hold me back, Ivan. Hold me back.
Miro and Cage are going to be like the most agile big guys you've seen. Who knows? You might see a lot of high flying from those two because they're very, they move. Those guys move around. They do some wild things,
Wild thing.
That's it, man. You made my heart sing.
And that is because, like I said, I found out about like heavy metal, hard rock, oldies, and classic rock because of wrestling. There's probably a kid just like me who's never heard that song.
Hold on. No. You have the glasses on, but the voice doesn't match.
Oh, it was because of wrestling, you see. And I found out about that kind of music. Not Don Callis, Matt found out about it. Because we share the same brain, of course. No.
And to all our audio platform listeners, Matt Callis is having a switch around. Of course, he has, when he wears the sunglasses, the Callis glasses, he changes to Matt Callis. Takes them off, he's MGC.
He transforms.
There you go. He
transforms. Transformation!
Transformation! Yes! Yeah. But yes, I'm very glad to hear everyone's here. Recap of Double or Nothing. Now we do, since we normally do cover AEW Dynamite, but obviously it's on a Friday, which is today's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We will be seeing it later on in a Friday night. I think after SmackDown. Which, of course, we have the upcoming cards. We have Christian Cage. We have teaming up with Jungle Boy versus Private Party. We do have Nick Camarado versus Dustin Rhodes in a Bull Roll match. We are going to see Britt Baker having a celebration of winning the Women's Championship. We're going to hear from Mark Henry, which I forgot to ask you guys about that, but hold on. And then we bring in the card. And also, we got the Young Bucks defending the AEW Tag Team titles against Pac and El Penta Cero Miedo. Cero Miedo right there. Now, before we get into that, I forgot about asking you guys about that. Mark Henry, debuting and now in AEW, becoming an analyst and a coach. Was that a right move or a bad move? So I'll go my buddy Mike and explain why.
Yes, thumbs up all across the board on my part, because to anybody saying, he's just a WWE guy, and AEW is a WWE light. Well, let me tell you something, brother, that yes, Mark Henry's there. Yes, Big Show is there. They're there to help the young guys, the talent, improve. They're going on there as coaches, not as members of the wrestling roster per se. Could that mean that Paul White and Mark Henry could have a match or two? Sure, why not? But they're going on as coaches, commentators, all these different roles around the company. And it's a young company. Come on, almost 3 years old. They have a lot to learn. And who else to teach them or help teach them than the world's strongest man, Mark Henry? The guy has so much experience, a wealth of knowledge, and 2 thumbs up on my end.
Matt Callis.
Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, is going to be an invaluable trainer for the big guys and the small guys too, because all that experience. One of my memories. Who here watched what was it, that show with Mean Gene on Spike TV? The
Confidential.
Confidential. So there's an episode of Confidential where this guy, he won a contest, and the winner of the contest is if you win the contest, all you do is you work out with Mark Henry in the gym. And he was that guy. I don't know if he was a kid, but he was young. A younger person. The winner of the competition was just so excited just to work out with Mark Henry, and at the end it was like, I hope you had fun today. And when I was watching that, I was like, how can it be fun working out in the gym with the world's strongest man? That must be the most painful and excruciating thing ever. But just imagining being trained by the world's strongest man, the kind of let me put this in for those of you who have worked out in the gym, imagine what kind of exercises the world's strongest man would put you through as your trainer. My God, AEW is going to be the buffest, could be the buffest roster sooner or later. Even the cruiserweight guys are going to be huge, and everybody's going to be like, steroids? Nope, Mark Henry training. That's the like Mark Henry comes to my house and I'm lifting 200 pounds in 2 weeks. I bet you he's going to make me do that. I'll be like, every part of my body could lift 200 pounds after Mark Henry stays with me for 2 weeks. I feel like that's what's going to happen. That guy pulled and ripped phone books.
I love it. So now, what do you guys think about this tonight's AEW Dynamite? I guess we're seeing another new chapter, which is we're seeing an upcoming feud of 2 WWE for legends, featured Hall of Famers, and I think this is the first time we actually see a storyline. I don't think we've never seen this in WWE. We've seen a Jeff and Edge, but never a Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. So that's something very interesting. Yes. So now we get to see them in an AEW ring with this. So are you intrigued with that upcoming feud, Money Mike?
I have my suspicions that feud is not going to happen. I really don't think so. First of all, Christian Cage is in the middle of something with Team Taz. He's got that going on, and for whatever reason, and I guess I would understand if I was a wrestler myself, but I only did high school backyard wrestling. So wrestlers, like, the veterans don't really like to wrestle other veterans as much. I've heard Jericho talk about it. Christian talked about it, about how he wants to face the younger talent, right? So I feel that they find it more interesting to wrestle the new guys, right? So I really don't think that there's going to be a feud there. But if there is, I'd watch.
Matt Callis, do you feel the same way?
I was wondering if it was my computer when I heard that car, but anyways, so Christian and Matt Hardy, I don't think that's happened. Yeah, you said it hasn't happened yet, but especially even if it has in WWE, it's a very different characters for them. It's the instant classic versus whatever characters Matt Hardy wants to create.
Money Matt.
It could be Money Matt. He could go back to Broken. He could transform to many different forms of himself. That's the cool thing. He has a lot of different versions of himself. But I think the main thing is, like, you've noticed that I think both of them, Matt Hardy's definitely been more successful on the outside of WWE as he's been able to find more solo success outside of WWE. And I'll say the same for Christian. So I'd say these two have a very special outside of WWE rivalry that they get to develop. The tricks that they've learned first coming from WWE and then to the Indies. Maybe make this a triple rivalry, throw Cody in there, because this is like the outside of WWE rivalry that's making its way to a big stage, which is pretty cool. So it'll be cool to see it in a big audience outside of WWE, them kind of work their creative muscles. Like, sure, veterans don't like to face each other, but here's what they could do, though. What veterans could do that rookies can't do as much of. Let their imaginations run wild with creation. So for all they know, they could be hanging upside down from the ceiling in an upside down cage, dressed as bats and as a blue jay and a bat, with the magnetized, the Mission Impossible magnetized things fighting on the wall.
My God.
That's only possible outside.
Imaginations that you have. Imaginations that you have.
I'll challenge you to a cocoon match, Christian Cage. Christian's like, I can outwork anyone, whether it's a cocoon, a beehive, a bat cave, an underwater coral reef, a submarine,
Oh my God. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys tune in tonight for AEW Dynamite tonight here on Friday. Do not forget also to tune in tonight to New Japan USA Collision. A lot coming up to there. I love New Japan Strong USA. People who are not familiar with New Japan Strong, subscribe to NewJapanWorld.com. You subscribe to it. It's almost the same when you pay a damn fucking Peacock, but a little bit less. You get better quality professional wrestling. I'll tell you that right now. So make sure, and also I'll break the card for it down for you. You have TJP versus Kevin Knight. You have Adrian Quest versus Barrett Bound, and the main event, of course, you have Kyle Frederick and Satoshi Kojima teaming up versus, of course, Team Filthy, which is Danny Limelight and JR Kratos. Make sure you guys watch that. 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, NewJapanWorld.com. Sure you guys catch them.
Oh, yeah, but does New Japan have Parks and Recreation and The Office? Peacock does.
They got better shows, man. They got...
Tell them, Matt, what they got?
They got a show where the Prime Minister of Japan switches bodies with his own son.
Whoa. Okay. I'm sold. There you go.
About Japanese shows, my God. And And then of course they also got documental, where it's like if you laugh, you lose. So comedians are doing all kinds of stuff. So anything's allowed. So like they've even gotten like butt naked and run around the room. That show's crazy. So
definitely.
The things Japan can meet you pound for pound in the entertainment wars.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. All right, so now let's move on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, that everybody been wanting to go ahead and hear from our thoughts. But before we do, catch this commercial right quick. We'll be right back for it. We'll be right back. Just catch this very quick at the Wrestling Guy store. Do not forget to buy your damn freaking toys. We back after these messages from David Gomez, the Wrestling Guy.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience in Los Angeles, California.
Aren't you a little old for toys?
I'm not old. I'm a wrestling guy. And at the Wrestling Guy store, you can be too.
Are you buying this for your kid?
No, I'm fighting for me, because I'm a wrestling guy. And at the Wrestling Guy store, you can be too.
Aren't toys for kids?
I'm not a kid. I'm a wrestling guy. And at the Wrestling Guy store, you can be too. We are all wrestling guys. And at the Wrestling Guy store, you can be too.
The Wrestling Guy store, located at 6085 State Street, Huntington Park, California, just 5 miles west of the Commerce Casino.